What's up, guys? News from the world of MMA. It's a crazy one. It's a big one. And I don't normally cover these TMZ-esque gossip stories, but it has to be discussed, right? Because it's a snowy, rainy, sleety day out there, and I'm sick of talking about fat loss and keto and intermittent fasting. If not just for one single day, can I not talk about that? So today, we're going to talk about Conor McGregor and Kelvin Gastelum having a bitter war of words via social media. And the community is aghast. Well, what happened? Basically, Rob Whittaker, as you know, he fell out of the fight versus Kelvin Gastelum on the day of the fight. The morning of the fight, it was announced Whittaker was off the card. He was rushed into emergency surgery to fix his bowels that were spilling out of his gut. He had a hernia, and his bowels were protruding through the abdominal wall. This is serious business, specifically for a combat athlete. So fights off, Kelvin has no dance partner. Kelvin shows up to media holding Henry Cejudo's UFC belt. Cejudo just won the new belt from TJ Dillashaw, which we also covered on this channel. Kelvin walks up in a fancy suit, looking slick with Cejudo's belt over his shoulder, and basically says, and it's his shtick, and it's a la Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva shtick, where Chael showed up with a mock version of the UFC belt, claiming himself the champion. Kelvin did the same thing. Kelvin showed up to the media with the belt, claiming himself to be the champion, because Whittaker missed weight, didn't miss weight, excuse me. They both made weight on Friday. Then Whittaker pulls out between the scale and the actual competition on Saturday. Kelvin shows up and says, hey, from the wrestling world where I'm from, if you pull out of a fight, you make weight, you pull out of a fight, that's a forfeit, right? Boom, I'm the champ now. I'm the champ now, and he's walking around saying he's the champ. And unfortunately, nobody's buying it. It's likely scripted, or it's suggested to Kelvin from someone else, because that doesn't seem to be Kelvin's normal personality. It's very outside of the character he's portrayed to the media and to the MMA world in general. Kelvin normally is a very humble, hardworking, soft-spoken guy. He's a good guy, and he comes across that way. But this is kind of a heel turn, as they say in the WWE professional wrestling world. He makes a heel turn, and he basically becomes the bad guy, because Kelvin was always the good guy, good old KG. Everybody loved Kelvin. And then he makes his heel turn against Robert Whittaker after Whittaker is hospitalized with emergency surgery. Nobody believes Robert Whittaker, a distinguished and respected champion, also known as a very good guy, hard-working family man, who suffered an unfortunate string of bad luck, finding the painful night after the weigh-ins, laying in bed and cramping and doesn't know what's going on. They call the UFC doctors who watch them. They realize it's getting worse. They take him to the hospital. He's admitted to the hospital, and he's told, son, you can't fight. You need emergency surgery. You could die in this condition. Your bowels are literally protruding through your abdomen, through your midsection, and they could burst at any time and kill you. No, you cannot fight a monster like Kelvin Gastelum on this night. You must have surgery. Ouch! Bad news for Whittaker, who trained his tail off to fight Gastelum. So Whittaker's in the hospital getting 3.5 hour surgery, scheduled to be 5. They got it done on Rob in 3.5 hours or so. His family's worried. Everything's upside down. He just lost millions of dollars because he can't compete. And Kelvin shows up with the belt, claiming to be the champ and basically disregarding what happened to Rob. Nobody took that well. It wasn't, that was funny. It's a good joke. That's a good shtick. Nobody positively commented on it or thought it was funny or a good idea. They were all just kind of eh. And they felt less sympathetic towards Kelvin, who just missed his opportunity to fight for the UFC world title. So by that stunt, the MMA world basically cared less about Kelvin. Because of that. And isn't it crazy? And this is I'm not stating an opinion here. I'm stating the facts. This is what happened. He had the sympathy. Everyone felt so bad for Kelvin, and what a good guy. What a hardworking... Really, dude? Let's go look at this Adesanya dude. He was pretty exciting. Let's Let's maybe watch him fight Rob next for the world title. That quick. It happened that quick, which is crazy. That was bad advice, I think, that they gave Kelvin. Bad advice. It definitely hurt his stock in the MMA world consensus, public consensus. Then what happens? Then Conor McGregor comes out. Of course he does, because Conor's smart. Conor's smarter than all the other guys, all the other gals. Conor McGregor is smarter. Why is he smarter? He likely got more impressions off of this fight on another continent in Australia than he was. He wasn't on the card. He wasn't competing. He wasn't promoting. He had nothing to do with the fight at all. But I guarantee you, Conor McGregor's social media has gained more clicks, more impressions, simply because Conor knows how to play the game. What does that mean? Conor found a way to become the most relevant conversation in the entire fight weekend. Whittaker's pulled off a card. Kelvin's wearing the fake belt. Adesanya beats Anderson Silva, who looked amazing. Lots of things to talk about on this card. Conor comes in and with one fell swoop, he throws a tweet out there. And I read this tweet off of, it was all over major media. I'm reading from MMA Junkie right now. Conor McGregor says, "Why is that worm holding the 185-pound belt? There are worms crawling on his skin!" Exclamation point. It was absolutely ludicrous to even consider allowing him to compete, let alone now walk around the arena shaking our fans' hands. Someone sort this out this instant and sterilize that belt immediately. So Conor put that out. What was he talking about? Kelvin had staph. Kelvin had staph on his face and staph on his neck. He had staph, and that happens in combat sports. It's gross, and the guys and gals who get it know and think it's gross. We all think it's gross. It's gross. It's gross. Ugh, I had staph on my arm one time. I know the exact person. I'm not going to say his name. One roll with him, and I had staph, and I had to go to the hospital and get antibiotics. I woke up, my arm was the size of a football. Cellulitis, they called it. Staph infection. But anyway. So Kelvin's got this staph on his face, as you can see on the YouTube channel. If not, if you're listening on the podcast, then just go to the YouTube channel or just go on media. You can find it. So Kelvin comes back and responds on Ariel Helwani's show. "Oh my God, you want to talk about a leper? A guy that's full of disease, that's spreading disease all over Ireland. That's Conor McGregor," Gastelum said today. "He's spreading his seed all over Ireland, impregnating ladies and not claiming them. That dude's a leper. Forget him." Yikes. Yikes. Talk about really getting down and dirty, getting down in the weeds on this stuff. So Gastelum now is responding to McGregor, who wanted the hits, wanted the engagement, wanted the clicks. He got it. And in order to do that, you have to get some controversy. McGregor knew to get the controversy. But the controversy is also, as Kelvin is pointing out, there are rumors and allegations from a young lady in Liverpool, England, I believe Liverpool, who claims that Conor McGregor fathered her child. And Conor has been denying it. Now she is allegedly pushing for a paternity test to see and prove in her mind that Conor is the father. Well, this isn't Conor's longtime girlfriend who has bore two children for Conor, and they seem to be a very happy, young couple, and all is nice. And then this other allegation comes, and that allegation hasn't been well known. But then Gastelum comes out. It's been inside the industry. You hear about it, but there's lots of stuff that gets spread around, true or not. Internet gossip slowly fades away. Gastelum takes that and just throws a haymaker, boom, at Conor, calling him a leper, that he's spreading his seed all over. And that's a tough one. So this is ugly. This is an ugly conversation that's coming out of an unfortunate athletic event. I don't have an opinion on it. This is the media, and this is the way it goes. And it's entertaining, unfortunately. It's entertaining from an outside perspective. For me, it's entertaining in the insanity of it, in the ridiculous of it. To use Conor's word, it's ludicrous to me that these are conversations that we're talking about, and I'm talking about it, and I'm presenting it to you guys right here, right now, because it is a conversation in the public sphere. And this is interesting because Conor, he'll never fight Kelvin Gastelum, who can barely make 185. Kelvin can barely make 185, right? He makes it, but he can barely make it. Conor is a 55-pounder who's kind of almost bumped up to 70. Can barely make 70, legitimately can barely fill up to 70. There's no way these guys would ever fight. They would never, never, ever. So it's simply a war of words. And that's unfortunate because who cares, number one? I mean, the Staph thing is a little weird, and in Kelvin's defense, or just to give his side of the story, he said that the UFC was aware of it fight week, that they had him on antibiotics and topicals to make sure that they were properly treating the Staph, that he was cleared to fight by the UFC's doctors, he was cleared to fight by the Australian Commission. He was, by his account, he was saying that he was completely healthy, non-contagious, and legal in order to move forward. True or not, I don't know. I don't... disagree in the shock value of, oh my God, that dude's got staph all over his face and you're going to let him fight. Yikes. I mean, yikes. Because that's serious business. You go to the hospital hooked up to intravenous antibiotics for days and weeks sometimes with staph, and people die of staph. They legitimately die of staph. Staph is a nasty. It's not just a skin disorder. It's a completely, I believe it's an immune disorder. It's a severe bacteria, right? Bacteria or virus. I got to brush up on staph, but it's a nasty foreign invader that will come for you and take you down, completely take you down. That's a little scary stuff. But the whole other, pregnancy thing, my God, what are these guys talking about? It's no more, jabs, punches, and crosses and counters. It kind of does get into the world of the ludicrous once again. So that's your MMA world news for the day. If you guys like these videos, give me a bunch of thumbs up. If you like this kind of video, just give me a bunch of thumbs up. Let's see if we can get 100 thumbs up so I know you like this information. And then I'll start putting more of this MMA behind the scenes information for you guys. I know personally a lot of the people. And then I might know these stories a little earlier than kind of the general media gets it out. So if you want me to put this stuff out there, I'll put it out there. I'll offer my comments on it and have a conversation with you guys down in the comments. So let's try and hit 100 likes. If not, I'll just keep it more to the other general fat loss and weight loss and all that good stuff, which is important too. I won't stop doing that, of course. I'll keep doing that. But if you want me to change up the channel a little bit, I'm happy to do so. Add a little ludicrous, spicy, waste of time, Yahoo front page news. Maybe soon I'll start talking about the Kardashians, what they wore to go to Starbucks the other day. I'll do 10-minute videos on that too. All right, guys, leave comments below. Again, let's hit 100 thumbs up if you like this type of stuff. And until next time, boom!